Hello, my name is Cheyenne Gotch, and I am doing my Module 5 presentation over Chapter 12, which the title of that is Community-Based Social Planning, Theories and Practice. So basically when I was reading Chapter 12, there were two aspects of local planning that I basically focused on them. The first one was comprehensive or specifically focused community development. That basically is what it kind of says it is. So it's focused community development. So basically you see what the community really needs to work on. You can kind of focus and prioritize certain things over others, and what's kind of more a need at that moment. And the second one is participatory planning for services that the community needs. So it kind of piggybacks off that first one, but it also adds the participatory planning, which I thought that was kind of neat. That's what a lot of the chapter focused on also. And so basically it was like participatory planning with the neighborhoods and communities and people that are actually in the communities that are living through what they're trying to change. And I think that that is kind of neat because they're able to bring like a fresh perspective, and also bring a perspective of somebody who has gone through it and is going through it and wants to change. And so I think that brings in a whole nother level of if these people are willing to come in and work with somebody who is trying to get the services for them and trying to figure out what's going to work best for them. I think it means that they're going to stick with it and actually work on getting better over time also. And so kind of what I had mentioned a little bit, they have these visioners, which basically are like planners, and they come in to work with the community members on what the needs are and what the goals are that they need to set and how to do it while still respecting the community members. And they kind of, when they come in, they basically sit down with the community members and figure out kind of what their traditions are, basically everything about their communities and neighborhoods that they need to know. And so they're kind of knowledgeable on that. And while doing that, they have to think about everyone that's involved with those community members and not just the certain ones that are coming and meeting with them. So say they have a meeting and they're meeting with people from the community are welcome to come in and kind of bring in their concerns. They have to also take into consideration that like some people that still need a lot of these services are not there. And so the main issues that a lot of communities see and that chapter 12 really touched on was poverty. And that was they had a lot of really good statistics in there about that. And even with the United States being the richest country in the world, we still have 46.2 million people in poverty. And that kind of blows your mind because then you imagine, we see how rough poverty is here, and I can only imagine how rough it can be in other parts of the world that we don't see. And so you kind of started to think about how you're even able to help or where you're able to start with that kind of stuff. And chapter 12 gave us kind of a really good, it was almost like a chart. It's kind of a good rundown on kind of how it starts and how the whole process develops. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of a lowdown on it, not go too far in depth with it. But first they kind of said you have to develop a plan with a vision or purpose statement and goals for change and desired outcomes so everyone's on the same page and know what's going on. You have to create work groups for priority projects, and like I mentioned before, you have to prioritize certain things. So say first you need to work on getting water to these people. You got to start with the basics, and then you can work your way up from there. And then you kind of facilitate work groups, development of project plans so that they each have a layout of their own plans. And so if you have different projects going from one priority to another, make sure that they know what's going on. And then implement the plan, manage resources, and monitor their progress. Obviously, you have to be able to monitor what's going on. Meet with the leaders of each group, and then kind of from there you evaluate how the process is going and you see if it's working. If not, you can change something and then kind of keep moving forward from there and build on it. They did touch on theories and research, which I think makes a lot of sense, because when you're working with populations like this, you kind of want to know what works and what's worked in the past and bring that into your own planning. And so the three theories that they kind of touched on were alternative development theories and local development focus, sustainability development theory, and human development theory. And so after combining these theories and some policy advocacy work, These theories have really gained attention and persuasiveness with the policymakers, which I think is very beneficial because a lot of times you have to kind of figure out how to have a poll with those people that are making the rules. So participatory styles, you have to be able to integrate a lot of professionals, because when you're working with this much diversity, you have to bring in people that are specialized in certain areas. And so you have to really make sure that people stay on the same page and kind of work with how that's going. And then you have to think of costs also. Whoever's funding the program, whether it's through the government or somebody else, you have to have proof of the program's budget and also a timeline of what's being implemented. So kind of keeping that in mind, that these things don't really come free. I kind of dislike I like a lot of the participatory planning, because I think if you bring those people in and bring it in their input too, I think that makes them feel like you're really working for them and you're not just coming in trying to change everything. So that can be a pro. I think a con also could be, I don't know, I think when you bring someone in from the outside, a lot of times people don't trust them right away. And so bringing in like a practitioner kind of to run how everything's going, the progress, I think you really have to work pretty hard at